Hey guys, the Wood Craftsman here. In this video I'm actually going to show you how I created the second colored lacquer glazed finish door. Now this door is actually a little bit lighter than the first one, and the reason being is this first one here, when I did it, I wasn't really sure if this is exactly something that we wanted to show the customer or if it'd be something that'd be very easily repeatable, even though I tried not to do anything special. So after reviewing it, just decided that we need to do something different. So this sample here is actually much lighter, and I'm actually going to go through the process in the video showing, but briefly I'm going to describe to you as far as what the differences was between these two doors. The first sample was 2 coats of the primer surfacer, followed by a coat of the high build colored Precat lacquer in an off-white, followed by a medium brown glaze, which was a blend of Van Dyke brown and white, and then had a coat of the high build Precat lacquer over the top of that in a medium rubbed effect. Now my theory was the reason this door came a little bit darker was the fact that anytime you put a glaze over a pigmented coating, because of how the pigments actually form the film surface, that the glaze stain was biting a little bit deeper versus if it had been over a clear coat. Now glazes in the shop here aren't new. We've glazed over vinyl sealer all the time. However, it's one of them things, glazing over a pigmented coating might be slightly different. At least that was my theory. So I decided I wanted to try something different. So with the second sample here, basically what I did was I substituted the colored Precat lacquer with a coat of clear Precat lacquer. Still used the 2 coats of the primer surfacer, but again, instead of using the colored Precat lacquer, I used the clear, and then I glazed over that. My theory is that we know that glazing over clear coats in general work very well, so there really should be no problem glazing over a primer with a clear coat in between. And what I found out was I was having the exact same results. I was having a very dirty glazed look, just wasn't wiping very clean. So I had to stop and think about evaluating as far as what was going on. I thought, you know what, maybe it is because it's such an opaque surface that even though glazing over a sealer over a stain, maybe it gives you a little bit darker look, but maybe it looks cleaner because of the wood substrate coming through. So I turned back to an old method where you actually still wipe the glaze off with a clean rag, but I came back with mineral spirits on a damp rag and actually cleaned the remaining streaks up, and it actually worked out really well. Now one might argue and say, well, you pretty much wiped the glaze off, but that's actually not the case, because if you look closely, you'll still actually get to see a little bit of glaze, of a glaze haze on the surface. So I didn't wipe the glaze off entirely, but I made it a lot cleaner and a lot more uniform. Unless you literally have a clean rag the whole time, you maybe could wipe the glaze off, but at some point in time the glaze is going to bite into the scratches deep enough where you're not actually going to be able to clean it out. You'll clean it up, but you won't necessarily get rid of it entirely. So I felt that this is something that's a lot more repeatable and it's a lot more consistent. This door, as I mentioned in the last video in my comment, that I didn't really like as far as kind of how even it was. I actually sent a picture to a couple colleagues. They thought, you know, it doesn't look bad, but if it's not what you're looking for, then it's not what you're looking for. So that's kind of what prompted me to try something different. As far as wiping glaze off with a solvent such as mineral spirits, it's not a new trick, it's actually an old trick, and I actually saw it on a YouTube video where they're actually showing how they run their finish room as far as how to do the glazing aspect, and that's the first time I actually saw it. I heard about it done, but never actually saw it. So I decided to give it a shot myself, and being that one of the main solvents in a glaze stain is mineral spirits if you're using a solvent-based glaze, I figured there's absolutely nothing wrong with actually using mineral spirits to actually wipe off the glaze. So I'm very happy with how the results came about, and I'm really hoping that we can get by showing this door, and if they like it, they won't need to see this one, because if they say they want something dirty, well, that would be this door here, and quite frankly, I don't think either one of us is really excited about showing this one. So I'm going to show you the video now, but basically it's a very similar process, but you'll get to see a little bit more in detail. Alright guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Questions and positive comments are welcome. Thanks for watching.